Hello, today I will be doing my investigative report on the Alexander L. Kielland, an offshore platform disaster that happened in the North Sea off the coast of Norway in 1980. How could the Alexander Kielland have been avoided? That is the main topic we will be focusing on in today's report. Here's the report overview, and the visual on the right-hand side of the screen is of the Alexander Kielland, which was attached to the EDA production platform. What happened to the Kielland? We will be analyzing the cause of the incident, possible solutions, and changes in Norwegian and international regulations regarding offshore platform management and safety. This investigative report is conducted for the benefit of global offshore safety, future offshore workers, and historians. Here's a bit of the background of the report. All the bracings and support columns were made by 25mm thick steel, and the Kielland was one of 5 semi-submersible pentagonal-shaped platforms. The Alexander Kielland was designed as an oil drilling platform, but the need for oil in Norway at the time was scarce. So the Kielland underwent temporary renovations and became a floating hotel for the overflow of crew on the EDA production platform. Hydrophones were attached to 3 of the 5 lower horizontal bracings. They were used to pick up position fixing signals from the seabed transponders. Once the support column D detached, unbalance in the structural components began to tilt the platform. Water immediately began to fill the deck and remaining legs. The central stabilization cable snapped, and the platform was upside down in the water in only 20 minutes. Lifeboats on the side of the platform were crushed by the waves. Limited life vests were supplied, and the lack of escape plans had led to the 123 deaths that day. Here's the visual of the support column D, and in the foreground you see the D6 bracing, which had snapped off completely. The 3 criteria this report will focus on are the cause, the solutions, and the changes in Norwegian and international safety regulations. The boundaries of this report: we will not be looking at the costs, we will not be analyzing survivor accounts and interviews, and we will not be looking at additional platforms that may have happened in Norway that could lead to the changes in regulations. There were many limitations when conducting this report, such as time, budget, recent global situations disabling physical contact and travel, and the lack of personal credentials and authority did not allow me access to government information and exact statistics. The types of research used throughout this report were all secondary sources, found between 1984 to the present day. The reference material was found on a personal laptop, using credited sources such as the Munn Library, ProQuest, and ResearchGate. Report analysis. What caused the Alexander Kielland to capsize? A fatigue fracture in the D6 bracing connecting the support column D to the internal structure did crack due to stress and improper welding. When the hydrophones were installed, the welder overall did an inadequate job. It wasn't inserted far enough into the bracing, the joints on all the sides were uneven, and overwelding also caused stress. This weld job should have never been passed inspection. Progressive stress over an extended period of time caused the cracks in the weld joints and the eventual circular break in the D6 bracing. Here is a quote found from an article in 2019 by France. It states that the evidence confirmed and the mechanisms of the initial failure as a fatigue process started as the defective weld bead in the inserted hydrophone tube located at a robust brace designed D6. And from that article I have taken a visual which illustrates how the hydrophone developed cracks due to uneven weld joints and stress. So during my research, I have compiled this list of factors that have led to the breaking of the D6 bracing and its rapid descent. Here's a visual of the Alexander Keelan capsized in the water. And on this slide, I have made a diagram of all the factors which have led to the large percentage of casualties, which by today's standards would be inadequate with the new rules and regulations. So now we will begin to look at the second criteria, solutions. We have just analyzed what caused the Keelan to capsize. Now we will discuss how to prevent it and the future offshore disasters. Regular maintenance checks were not performed during the Keelan disaster, and it was one of the factors that led to its demise. Platform stability is also another thing that led to the disaster. Nowadays, it is required that platforms have individual stabilization in case a leg do fall off. And how could have it been prevented? Things such as weekly inspections, proper welding, shutting doors, proper evacuation protocols, and sufficient survival suits would have saved many lives that day. So now we will look at the third criteria, regulation changes. Upon conducting incident reports and analyzing additional checks found in multiple bracings aboard the Keelan, new offshore rules and regulations were implemented in Norwegian and international waters. Here's a quote found from an article done in 2019. In the 80s, offshore drilling platforms were pieced together in separate sections. There was no communication between residential housing, maintenance, and oil drilling productions. The construction and operations. This led to numerous problems during the flotel's operation and safety. Rules have changed. It is now mandatory that one group or organization be in charge of overseeing the production and construction of oil drilling platforms. The NPD at the time was in charge of developing new sets of regulations regarding safety and crew safety in the petroleum sector. Immediately after the Keelan disaster, Norway began to review incident reports and conduct crew interviews, changing how all platforms would conduct their operations immediately. So this is a list compiled from multiple sources of the regulation changes that pertain only to the platform management and operation, things such as certification of roles and performing risk analysis. EER stands for Escape, Evacuation, and Rescue. It is an important variable to account for when regarding offshore platform work, and multiple platform disasters mandated the continuous analysis of crew safety and proper evacuation protocols. Here is a list of some of the credentials needed to be able to work in the offshore sector today. BioSet is a 3-day course that is recognized internationally for helicopter safety and escape, sea survival, and firefighting. It stands for Basic Offshore Safety Induction and Emergency Training. Here is a list of the rules and regulations pertaining to human safety, implemented within the last 40 years. Here are some life-saving equipment that could have been implemented more on the Keelan, such as life vessels and individual survival suits. Only 4 of the people that survived that day were wearing their survival suits and had time to put them on. Conclusions. So here are some conclusions that I have gathered throughout my report. The improper weld joints and procedures performed on the bracing caused the disaster. Improper welding procedures, evacuation protocols, and rescue operations are essential for any offshore work. And the offshore crew certification and safety were lacking aboard the Keelan. Regulation changes since the incident have improved. So here are my recommendations pertaining to the 3 criteria. All work and maintenance being done on the platform should be completed by professionals and their verification cited by external sources. Weekly platform inspections, collaboration, and managerial organizations have stopped the disasters. New international regulations requiring superior authority for communication and certified crew members will save lives offshore. If there are any questions, please feel free to contact me and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.